Levi, third-year vet student here at K-State College of Vet Med. Welcome to the class of 2026. This is a chance to show you around our vet school that haven't got that come here before. First off, this is our library. This is a spot for us to kind of just study, relax, focus. There's different spots designed for different people to study, focus, whether you just want a chair with your friends, study tables, or even a couple fishbowl little rooms that you can just sit purely with your group. They have TVs where you can broadcast your notes or rewatch the lectures up on the screens again. The whiteboard actually goes over the TV so you can write directly on it, which is really helpful for classes like radiology and such. As we go through this tour, kind of highlight like the big things that are really awesome for us as students. There have been a lot of remodels over the past 5 to 6 years, all of which that the admin has done their best to make it as friendly for the students as possible. If you're interested in research up on the hill outside the window, I'm not sure if I can show that. There's this big great building that is NVAP, the National Bio and Agri-Defense Research Facility. If you're interested in the research and government side of things, NVAP is an excellent chance to do that off your DVM and PhD career. The USDA will actually pay for select students for their tuition for DVM and PhD programs in exchange for a couple of years of research working off to them. So if you're interested in research, that is an awesome gig. And a little bit about Manhattan as we're looking out over these hills. We're on the north side of the Kansas State campus. Just across the street, we have both the fitness center and the football stadium. It is really close and really easy accessible if you ever want to go work out. There are plenty of intramurals to get involved with your classmates, get a little bit of energy out, all while getting rid of some of that competitive energy. A little more about the library. The vet school just really got to make sure you don't have to buy any more textbooks than you need. Most of the textbooks, I think I've bought one over the 3 years so far, and is the anatomy dissection guide, and I used every page of it. Most of all the other textbooks, so you don't have to buy $300 textbooks. You sit on the counter. They're all provided up here, and you can come check it out, use the sections, whatever chapters you may need, and move on. All of the staff here, they're extremely helpful if you need to check out those books, get something printed, copied, or even bound if you need. Okay, anything else? Okay, we're going to move on down to the third floor where Peyton will show us about the first year curriculum.
Hi guys, I'm Peyton. I'm a third year here. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Sorry, we're gonna get this sorted out for you. So we're just gonna be wandering down to our third floor. We're currently in Trotter Hall. So Trotter Hall is mainly our academic building. Our vet campus has 3 main buildings, and hopefully Levi doesn't fall down the stairs here trying to videotape me. But Trotter Hall is our academic, like I just said. Then we have Coles, which is mainly research labs, faculty offices, and finally Mosier Hall, which is our hospital. We'll be headed to Mosier here in a little bit, but for now, we're going to go to the third floor. Our third floor is pretty much dedicated to our first year students. So this would be you coming in the fall, but we'll start in our Student Success Center. It looks like we have some very studious first years currently in there. Okay, sorry. So this is our third floor Student Success Center. This is, as you can see, a good place for students to hang out and study. It's one of our newly renovated spaces, so we're really excited to have it. Additionally, they have a small kitchenette in here. So if you want to make lunch, keep your snacks in here and grab in between classes, it's a super great kind of resource for our students to have. It's open 24/7 to students, so everybody gets a badge when you come for orientation, and this allows you to enter not only the building, but the classrooms in this third floor Student Success Center space as well. I want to point your attention to our fantastic massage chair. I like to talk about the massage chair as it's part of our wellness program here at K-State. So as we all know, veterinary medicine is really difficult, and we want to make sure our students have not only the academic and professional support, but also mental and health support as well. So our wellness program here has offered a budget that we spend yearly. And I think it was last year or the year before, we decided to purchase 2 chairs. So we have one massage chair here on the 3rd floor and one on the 1st floor. So those are really great resources for our students. So that way they're successful in their academics as well as mentally too. So from here, we'll go to our lecture hall, which is just a short walk away. Okay, maybe we won't go to our lecture hall. Just peek in. So what you guys are going to do is going to show you the lecture hall space. They are currently 8 to noon, Monday through Friday. We'll talk a bit about the curriculum when we get to the microanatomy lab, but just envision that space as we talk about those classes. It's very much a normal lecture hall, nothing exciting. We do have monitors on the ceiling, so if you're like me and you have horrible eyesight, you'll be able to see the screen from the back row. I was a back row person, I'm still successful, so there's really no bad seat in the house. All right, so we're just gonna record really quick. So this is our third floor microanatomy lab space. It is pretty much used by first years and second years. But as we take a look around the room, we see lots of tables with monitors and space for microscopes. So for this class, you're essentially looking at slides of different organs, cells, blood samples, and I'm being able to identify either the organ you came from or what animal. Each table has a monitor so that you can hook up your laptop or see what's projected on the screen. And so you're able to kind of have a better visual of what you're going for in that lab. Additionally, the faculty microscope can connect to each of these monitors. So that way, if they find a really cool neutrophil or even a basophil, which is very elusive to us students, they're able to show us on each of these monitors. The second year courses have radiology in here. And so when the radiologists who have, again, perfected their industry can show us the tiny hairline fractures, we're able to see a bit closer here on the screens. As you can see from the whiteboard, it's also a pretty well-used space for studying. It's not only, for those first and second years, you'll find third years up here studying as well. So just a versatile space that you'll find yourself first, second, and third year. We're going to continue to the anatomy lab, which has a few people in, so we'll try and fix. Okay, we record really quick. Well, thank you. Nope, I was over here. So this is our gross anatomy lab. I'll have to kind of show you guys around a bit while I chat. But this is the second space you'll spend a ton of time your first year. As you saw, we came in this first year studying here during their free time because gross anatomy is one of the heavier content loads that you'll have your first semester as well as first year. So your first year courses are essentially teaching you all of the normal aspects of a canine and equine cadaver. So you'll have systems physiology. They've recently changed the curriculum, so some of these names might change a bit. But for me, at least, we have gross anatomy, physiology, and microanatomy. Those are our pillar courses. But for you guys, same concept. What are the normal canine cadavers supposed to look like? So you'll come in here first semester, have a canine cadaver with 3 other peers in your class, and you'll dissect it throughout that fall semester. You'll learn, okay, where should the liver live? How can I know it's a liver and not the lungs? And then from there, you'll be able to look at microscope slides, maybe in microanatomy, understand what is the kind of microscopic structure of the liver and how does that help with its function, which you'll learn about in physiology. Again, all of that from a normal kind of perspective. Your second semester, you move on to an equine cadaver. And so the canine cadaver can obviously fit on these fancy downdraft tables. If you were here, you could feel and hear kind of an air movement sound. And so those are sucking fluids and the nasty smells down and out of the room. So it smells great in here, which is something you really rarely hear in a cadaver lab. But then second semester, you're working on an equine cadaver. So I can show you the ceiling here, but these are tracks where our equine cadavers are suspended. And so we can rail or move them from the cooler on these rails to your specific dissection station. The second semester, again, is mainly that equine cadaver, so you split it with another group. So there's 8 people per horse, 4 people per side, but as you can imagine, it's pretty much a mirror image. So, you're still learning bony structures, muscles, and nerves, but from a comparative aspect. You do have opportunities to dissect some ruminant species as well. But again, you spend a lot of time in here. It's open 24/7. So having the space newly renovated is really helpful and encouraging because K-State is trying to put a lot of money into their student spaces. And this is definitely one of the spaces that reflects that. So that kind of concludes our first year space. We're going to switch off again, and I'm going to show Levi while he talks a bit about our second year spaces while we walk that way.
Yeah, so we're moved down to the second floor. The best part about graduating and moving on to each year is you get one less flight of stairs to climb in the morning. My third year is really nice being on the ground floor. Anyway, as you move to second year, first year, everything is more normal. Gross phys, everything that the body is supposed to do. As you move into second year, everything turns into what and can go wrong with your future patients. You're in all of the ologies: pharmacology, bacteriology, toxicology, virology. You start learning all of the different things and diseases and pathogens that can and will affect. Everything that will affect the basics of pharmacology of how to treat some of those. With that, your lab changed a lot. You're no longer dealing with cadavers. Instead, in the second year lab, we do lots of fecal samples for parasitology, and then you're looking at blood smears for ClinPath, then bacteria slides for bacteriology lab as well. This is the one space that hasn't been renovated yet. And to give you a comparison, this page shows you around. And this is what the gross anatomy lab used to look like. So we are extremely thankful for Dean Rush and her team and the work of Veterinary to get that space renovated. The plans for this lab will soon hopefully be finally fundraised for, and then this place will get a renovation too. But for now, as we're spending most of our time looking at microscopes and parasite slides, it's okay for it to be a little bit, it's still extremely functional. Every student has their own workspace, their own microscope, desk. Different people have taken it to different levels of personalization. Mine definitely was very empty, but some other people like this take here. You can bring in pictures of your family, your pets, little things to make you feel at home as you're spending many hours studying here. I guess there's not too much else to see about this lab. I'll touch on the professors. The professors here are amazing. They will do everything to help you out. If you're stressed, let them know. They're sit down as much time as they can. They're coming after hours, anything to help you study. I bombed a test first year, and it put me at a borderline failing grade going to Thanksgiving break. Before I even had a chance to reach out to the professors, both of them emailed me and said, "Hey, how can we help you? Is there something you didn't understand? Is there maybe just how can we best help you moving forward?" And it was awesome. Failing a test is stressful. No one wants to be there, but it's really cool to know your professors actually care about making you the best veterinarian possible. Again, as Peyton said, all of these spaces are open 24/7. As with the badges, she mentioned you can get in. It's really cool. No one else can. It's a very safe and secure place if you ever need flat tire changed, car jumped when you leave here studying after 11 o'clock midnight. Our K-State security has their own staff, or the K-State police can actually help you jump to your car or change a tire, whatever you need to do. Yeah, anything else for a second? Yeah.
No, I think that sounded good.
Cool. We're again, see if we can just take a peek into the lecture hall if this one's open. If not, we'll go ahead and move on downstairs, or Peyton will tell us about the downstairs Student Success Center.
So as we walk, we'll kind of chat about some of our clubs and other opportunities here as a K-State veterinary student. So we have a ton of clubs and opportunities for students who are interested. It looks like there are some people in there. So we'll just go down to the first floor. So as I was saying, we have tons of clubs and other opportunities for our students. So you're interested in exotic animals, horses, bovine, research and pathology, there's a club for you. If you find that there's not one, you can actually start one. So we had an avian medicine club recently start by 2 students in our 2023 class. So there's definitely some great opportunities to learn outside of the classroom space as well. We were fighting to imagine first. So a lot of clubs will actually meet here too at their officer meetings. This is our first floor Student Success Center. You'll see it's very similar to what we saw upstairs with student spaces to study not only individually, but also in groups. Lots of whiteboards, lots of monitors to be able to hook up your laptop, see different presentations or practice presentations that you might have to give. There's spaces for students to eat lunch, to come hang out with their friends. And I'll point out that we also have space outside as well. As a vet student, you're pretty much a 8 to 5 type of student. And so it's nice to be able to see the outdoors with little picnic tables, places to just hang out with friends. I'll point your attention here to our kitchenette. So we have a second kitchenette with Keurigs, microwaves, fridge, all of that jazz. But additionally, we have the purple pantry, which is something I think is really unique to K-State. So the purple pantry is an extension of main campus's food bank. And so actually faculty and staff donate food items to students. And so it's pretty much just come grab what you need. There's no questions asked, nothing to sign in or sign out. And so if you're struggling with anything, won't be able to get all your groceries for the month, you're able to supplement with what is needed here from the purple pantry. They also send out little snacks and stuff. 4th years will leave like extra suture they had. So it's definitely kind of a communal space for sure. We'll head into clinical skills. Joanne, is it okay if we record a quick video? Thank you. So this is our clinical skills room. Clinical skills will start your 1st year. And so that continues 1st through 3rd year. Your 1st year, you're learning some of the more basic skills. So how do you restrain an animal? How do you put a twitch on a horse? All of that sort of fun things. You'll learn client communication, which is a really big part of the curriculum, as it's something that often goes kind of unnoticed within the veterinary curriculum. You'll learn how to draw blood from different veins, how to place a catheter, how to interact with live animals, all sorts of fun stuff like that. As you progress in the curriculum, the skills get a bit more advanced. So 1st year, you might just be doing some of those patient restraint skills, while 2nd year, you're learning how to scrub in for surgery, how to place those catheters, so that way when you get to 3rd year, where you're doing your first surgeries, you're prepared. You also have access to this space as well 24/7. So in clinical skills, you're required to do what they call clinical skills assessments, or I think they renamed it DOPS. So I just found that out. So you're required to do those, and you can come in here and practice. As you might have seen, we have tons of models on the walls and on the counters, each kind of signifying or providing an example of something different. And we actually have a registered veterinary technician who makes a lot of these models. And so some of these you can practice jugular vein draws. Some have bladders to palpate. Some you can practice cystocentesis or pulling urine out of the abdomen. So there's a lot of different kind of skills you can practice in here, and you have 24/7 availability to be able to do so. Did I miss anything, Levi? Cool. Well, we'll switch off so Levi can talk about our 3rd year space. Sorry, that was my finger.
As we move over, the BI auditorium, or the Behringer Ingelheim, the brand new lecture space, greatly donated to us by BI, is our new it's the largest lecture hall. We use it a lot for lunch and learns, club meetings. 3rd years have class in it. We'll go and walk that way and see it. A little bit about the 3rd year curriculum. You start combining everything you learned from the first 2 years. You have all of your medicine and surgery courses, only into actually how you treat the diseases we learned about the 2nd year. The most fun part, low stressful part, that also goes with 3rd year is junior surgery lab. It's your time where you get the first hands-on live animal surgeries in your veterinary career. And so you get to do spays and neuters on shelters from around the area. Some of my classmates have found their brand new pets. Here is our brand new Wildcat Corner. It's our little gift shop that we can actually buy K-State specific vet med apparel. There's a lot of really cool gifts for your family, friends. It has some really cool statements. Today, or 2 days ago now, we had our scholars presentation. Is called Zeta Day, where all of the student researchers present their posters, present oral lectures about the research that they have done. On that, the VRSP is the summer research program. Paige will talk a little bit more about that later. I think she did that one of the summers ago. But there are a ton of opportunities if you're interested in research while you're here as a vet student. Moving into the actual lecture hall. Let's the light turn off on us. This is our brand new space. They had some really smart scientists say that the wider and less deep lecture halls was more conducive for learning, but we still have the TV screens up on the wall if you want closer view as something. The big thing that they did when renovating lost space was give us windows. And a little bit of natural light goes a long way in a long day of indoor study. Again, you can study in here whenever you want. All of the lectures are recorded. And so if you want to go back and view them later to study, it's highly encouraged. We still encourage you to come in class. Most people learn better that way. But it is really nice if you have to miss for something, you can still go back and watch the lecture later on without getting notes from your friend. Again, we're extremely thankful for BI for this entire brand new lecture hall. And this is actually where y'all will be in August for orientation. So, anything else, Peyton? This is a lecture hall. It's awesome. Cool. Moving on, Peyton is going to show us the small animal hospital.
A little bit about VRSP, like Levi mentioned earlier. So, Veterinary Research Scholars Program is a summer-long kind of intensive research experience for our veterinary students, and you're paired with a mentor here within the College of Veterinary Medicine, and you work on a project for the entire summer. It is a paid experience, which is really great. It provides you some good connections and mentorship with those faculty members, grad students, and PhD students, as well as providing experience doing physically collecting research data, analyzing it, doing assays and that sort of thing. So my project was actually a behavioral-based project. So I collected videos, analyzed different behavior and pain markers, and then at the end of the summer, you present to your fellow VRSP colleagues as well as at the National Veterinary Scholar Symposium. For me, with the pandemic in full swing, my summer we actually did it virtually, but I still got to practice presentations with my peers as well as on the national front by doing a small 2-minute presentation. And then, like Levi mentioned, Zeta Day, we did have another presentation that I was able to give a bit longer one. So I'm actually published now as a result of that research, which is really exciting. And so it's a really great opportunity for students interested in research or trying to figure out if that's something they'd like to do. So as we kind of progress from the BI atrium here, we'll head to the small animal side of our hospital. As we kind of wander through the hospital, you might see us kind of get out of the way as it is a fully functional hospital that is quite busy most days. So you always have to bear with us on that. But I'll start here outside of our feline entry for the Hills Pet Health and Nutrition Center. So Hills has graciously helped us renovate the Pet Health Center space. And so that's what we're sitting outside of here. Pet health is essentially your day-to-day veterinarian. So vaccines, I actually bring my cat here. He was having some diarrhea the other day. And so I brought him in and he was able to be seen by the fantastic pet health veterinarians here. But since there are a lot of our students who want to go into a small animal practice, they felt renovating this space and making sure that it had all the resources and tools they would need or would find out in general practice would be really beneficial. And so that's what we've kind of done with this space. And we also have a separate canine entry, which we're standing outside of now. So we're able to make sure our patients, both feline and canine, are comfortable, behaving well. And so we'll take a peek inside. All right, we'll just do a quick video in here. So So this is the Hills Pet Health Center waiting area. We've got space for aggressive and reactive dogs. Behind the kind of barrier over there is our feline entry. And as you would expect for any, veterinary office, you've got places to sit and stay with your pets while they're using the vet. In addition, there are exam rooms separate for both feline and canine patients, a treatment area, and a conference room for students. So unfortunately, we can't see those spaces, but simple, just like every other kind of space you would see. The other cool thing about those spaces and treatment rooms is that you actually can record interactions with clients, and that way students can get a better idea of how they're communicating. So I'm sure when they record me, they're going to say, "Stop using your hands so much." As you can see, I do a lot. So anyway, some cool resources for us in there. Hospital can be a bit confusing, so luckily you have fourth year and second year mentors when you come in your first year who give you tours and kind of help show you the ropes. Older students too. To start, we're going to talk about our specialty offices or departments. And so the first one here is cardiology. We have almost every specialty except for neurology, but we have a really strong neurology group that kind of works within our internal medicine department. So you still get that learning opportunity. It's just not official. So cardiology is one option. It's a 2-week elective rotation that you can do your fourth year. We also have elective rotations like oncology, exotic animal medicine, as well as a variety of others that are kind of based off of your interests. But all of these are just exam rooms that you're able to use, which I can show you as kind of walk around. There's different conference rooms as well for each specialty. So as a fourth year student, you'll do rounds in there talking about your that sort of thing. I'd also like to pause on our little map here. So this is where the class of 2022 or our upcoming graduates will be going. Everybody puts a little pin on where they'll be practicing. So it's kind of a way for us to see where they'll be going, get excited about their, up and coming graduation and our transition as third years into clinic. So I think there's a lot of excitement and nerves going in the hospital, both in the third and fourth year classes. So additionally, we have interns and residents who work here in the hospital or going through their kind of advanced education after their DV. And mentorship kind of status within each of those departments. So we kind of pass the oncology department and we'll be walking through radiology. So we have a radiology department as well. So that way, animals that need kind of to have that kind of figure out what's going on with them. They also are here kind of on an on-call basis. So I'll have us turn this way. So that way if we have a dog hit by a car, we're able to do radiographs and figure out what's going on, what's the extent of their injuries. We will walk past ICU today. So I know we haven't updated tour schedule. So we have a fully functional small animal intensive care unit. We have dentistry as well. So we're able to provide lots of services for our patients here, whether it be routine or emergency. So we have a fully functional intensive care unit where because their pets are really concerned, we have an RT and an office here at all times to take care of those patients that are needing kind of advanced care. This is also a spot I like to talk about our student worker position. So I work in our small animal ICU there, and so I'm able to get hands-on experience while practicing skills, getting to know the doctors, all while being a third year, which is pretty exciting. We're walking kind of around our surgery suites and anesthesia prep areas. So K-State does not track, so you're required to go through all the different species areas. So if you're interested in equine, get excited, you still get to do small animal medicine. Same thing for our small animal patients, they still get to do, we should have gone to the other side, maybe we can walk over there. We'll walk around, don't worry, there's a surgery going on and we don't want you to miss out. So these are our surgery suites. We'll keep going since there's something exciting in this one. So our surgery suites, we have orthopedic, soft tissue, ophthalmology, all of these kind of different options based off of what the specific department needs in regards to their surgeries. So as you can see, just a normal surgery suite, the abilities to do radiographs if needed, as well as scoping or anesthesia, all of that jazz. As a student, you kind of are presented a case at the beginning of the week. We work through it with a clinician, talk about what your differentials are, what you think is going on, what diagnostics you want to do. And then if at the end of the week they decide, well, this is definitely a surgical candidate, you'll be in that surgery with them. So it's a really great learning opportunity to get to see kind of start to finish how a case could be worked up, treated, and then how recovery and at home care would go. So this is our ophthalmology surgery suite, just a bit smaller with kind of what they're working on and what they're doing. You might see that there. Sorry. So we have central prep as well. That way we can have all of our supplies that are needed. So this is one of our clearly active surgery suites. So we've got a handful of fourth year students, interns, residents, as well as clinicians kind of directing what's going on. We've got anesthesia students as well. So they're taking care of the patient while they're under general anesthesia, making sure that they're doing okay and not, suffering from being under the anesthetic event. We'll continue this way. So more conference areas, fourth year's learning, it's always a constant one over here. As a first year, you're encouraged to kind of observe. That's why we have the windows in the surgery suites. Some of the suites actually have cameras too, where they can kind of show what they're seeing. So that way, everybody gets the opportunity to learn first through fourth year. We'll pause kind of outside the stories. We can't necessarily go into that, but this is our necropsy rotation. So necropsy is essentially animal autopsy. So you're figuring out what the cause of death for an animal was. So taking samples of different organs and tissues, looking at them under microscopes. Pathology also includes looking at blood samples, assessing neutrophils, and all of that sort of fun things. We've got a gaggle of work years here. A gaggle. What are we watching today?
Bilateral cartolican alpaca.
Okay. How exciting! You guys get to see a surgery. I can talk about large animals because I'm a small animal person.
Yeah, so I'll jump in here. Similar to the smaller animal surgery suites here. This is for our equine and livestock services. Most common, you're going to see equine here for maybe tooth extractions, commonly colics, because horses love to manage tooth colic. But today they're actually doing a catorchid castration on a alpaca, which is not something you usually see. I think one of the coolest things we've seen here in our 3 years is they had a giraffe from Missouri that attempted to jump the fence and broke his cannon bone. And so they brought him here, and they actually worked between livestock, exotic services, and equine to pin Mr. Tumbleweed back together. And last time I heard, he's doing well and healthy and living a very happy, hopefully slightly more cautious giraffe life. I'll hand this back to Peyton, and we'll go through the rest of livestock equine. First, behind here, we're going to use imagination as a dark window. There is a MRI of human grade strength. It's 3 Tesla, which means nothing to me, but the radiologist says that's really awesome. And so for beyond just the standard radiology, they also have MR and CT to get a more 3D imaging of what we may be dealing with. This is really helpful for our surgery department as they're looking at maybe a fractured spine, trying to see exactly where the lesion is and how to best go about repair of that. This stretch here is called I-70. It jokingly is called I-70 as I-70 splits the state of Kansas into half. I-70 splits the small animal from the large animal. Down here, you're going to kind of use your imagination. This is how we grow. So our shelter bench frame, we can talk about that at the office. In here, we have our induction for equine and livestock surgery. The best padded walls in order to get them different from a 2,000-pound bull standing to laying on the ground, both safe for him and everyone. Again, all of these surgeries, you're invited to come down if you have the time. Grab a pair of scrubs and you're actually invited to the surgical suite with the doctors to observe. We're going down this way to our livestock tiers. Right now, we're happy to see what's in the hospital, but it varies from livestock. We see these here: cattle, sheep, goats, mammals, and we have some one or two camels. There's a baby one. But as of the rest of the hospital, so here's the actual extremely awesome. That tells you all of the cases that occur in the hospital. That's advice for you. Come down here and see what cases are in the hospital. Find the doctor and the student that is posted on that patient. You'll ask them. They love to teach, and so having a extra interested student asking about the case is always fun. Sometimes you can actually come down to the schedule for surgery, plan to come back later. And Dr. Leader on the equine side, I helped him out once with the case, super curious. A month and a half later, when I came back in for recheck, he actually emailed me and said, "Hey, this case is coming back in. If you want to come and see how it's doing a month and a half later." It speaks volumes to how dedicated our clinicians, house officers, and their students are in helping share. Our hospital is open. Like Nathan on the smaller side, I work in the large animal ICU as a night tech. It's an awesome experience to get to go.
We're gonna go in. We're gonna see some pens.
Like Nathan, I work at the small large animal as an overnight tech. It is an awesome experience to get to know the clinicians better. Build that relationship with them that way about the time we're here. I can know a little bit better. I know the hospital better. And then it's just extremely awesome to practice the hands-on or the skills that we learn in class with more patients. Last year we had a course that came in as pollen, and then going into endotoxic shock, which matched perfectly with the lecture literally the day before in bacteriology about bacteria. First bacteria that cause that endotoxic shock. I'm thinking here we have to go. I think in the stall that we have. As we start walking past the cats, I think we have 2 or 3 days after the season. It's not feeling good. A lot of them have scours, but it's been really cool to work at night. Start getting to help with the treatments of those cases and learning the best course of action. Down here, we have our brand new, about a year-old livestock conceiving. Is actually designed with help with Temple Brandon, the world-renowned clinician on animal behavior and best fear-free practices to handle even the biggest of creatures. We were talking earlier about the multi-surgery unit. This is it. Last semester it is 30,000 surgery. So they'll go around and do 3 space and neuters from the shelters, which gets each 4th year probably about 50 to 70 surgeries in a 2-week period. Just greatly boosting your skills and techniques and confidence in surgical skills handling. While also providing an extreme service to the livestock. An extreme benefit to the shelters and making the patients more here is the livestock standing chute in the back that you can actually typically look at the scope, and then a full chute that they're used to actually lay the cow on its side and work on its feet, all while keeping it safe and secure. This is all gratefully donated to Merck. Team Rush has done an amazing job. I think it's some pretty big sponsorships all in to make a better learning environment for you. As we move on to equine, most lakes have a large exam room. Sorry, the host is loud. We're bringing them in, do a basic examination, get your physical parameters, kind of see what we're dealing with, whether it's lameness, colic, or laceration. In this large open room, we can move them around, watch the block a little bit. We also have radiology equipment to go ahead and take your radiographs and see if there's fractures and osteoarthritic changes, anything like that. We're not going to go out there doing black and white fight. But out on the backside of the parking lot, we have the Equine Performance Testing Center, which is a large enclosed lameness pad, and so we can actually run the horses around on different types of surface material and kind of observe and watch for lameness. And also out there, they have their own separate radiology and limb walking equipment. Also, they can work on the entire case of lameness out there if I haven't come in and out of the hospital. Dr. Beard, one of our surgeons, brilliant man. He's done a lot of spearheading of building that project up out there. And it's amazing watching him work out in this case. Moving on to some examiners, we also have ones with stocks. And so you can keep the horse in there.
We got a patient walking with the.
Okay. Go down here too. Stocks. Stocks. Keep the horse fine. So it's safer for them.
Sorry.
So in here, the great is very flexible. So you keep the stocks. Horse fine. Use a nasogastric tube. See what's up with the colic. See how bad they are. So medically manage it, or if we need to call it the surgery team. Down here is our tiers and where all of the patients are kept. We actually have to do the cute one. We're looking at Sunny. He's 25. But you're encouraged to come down here and look at the cases. Sunny actually was able to watch the surgery, all because around the clinician, I was curious and asked. There is nothing that you can't do as long as you ask for it. The worst they can do is say no. Anyhow, let's start of the hospital and the vet med center as a whole. We're all extremely excited to see you all here in August. It's going to be a great time. Enjoy your last summer. Take some time to relax, figure out what fun. We look forward to seeing you. Right?
Yeah. I guess I would just reiterate what you guys said. So take some time to yourself. Get excited, get prepared, because vet school is really tough, but hopefully we were able to show you some of the multitude of resources that you have here at K-State to be able to succeed and become the excellent veterinarian that we know you're going to be. If you have any questions, feel free to contact our admissions department. They will either answer them for you or get you in touch with somebody like myself or Levi who can answer them for you. Otherwise, congrats on your acceptance, and we hope you have a great day.
Good afternoon.
What's up?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing just fine. So these two rooms here, this one and the one that's on another screen that I can see, were full of people. But I think in the last, I want to say 4 minutes, they kind of moved to a different room. And so we had, let's see, 3 ambassadors total that I spoke with for hours, I believe. We talked ad nauseum because I was the only one really here, and then we had some people come in and whatnot, but I'm assuming y'all are here to take questions if there were people that had them, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so I want to thank y'all for the time that you took to be here for that. I just don't see anybody that has any questions, and Peyton and Nina and Sarah, who we had on earlier, I had a lot of questions for them, and now I'm fresh out, unfortunately,
All good.
It's okay.
and I feel terrible.
No, it's a Friday
No.
afternoon.
I mean, this isn't messing with any of what y'all had going on, really, does it?
No.
We're done with classes, so we're hanging out.
Okay, so if anything, this frees up your day then, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't mind, if you'll give me just a brief moment, I'm going to contact the gentleman who is running all of this, which is the vice president of our pre-veterinary club. So if you, I'm going to mute myself and give him a call just so I can ask him what he wants. If this is wasting y'all's time, you know what I mean? Unless he has people that are going to be coming back into the room.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
We really appreciate y'all for being here and everything. Sorry that we don't have anyone here to, get questions or anything.
Oh, that's all right.
It's okay.
All right, so I'll ask a question, I guess. What's y'all's favorite thing about KSU?
You want me to go
No,
first?
you go ahead, yeah.
My favorite thing was definitely like the community and just like the spaces we have at school here. So I spend a ton of my time at school just because I really like the atmosphere and seeing my classmates and stuff being here. So when I visited here, just like being here, the environment gave me such a good vibe.
Yeah, I saw like that they had like the 24-hour classes available. That's pretty cool. Do y'all use them a lot?
We're in one of them right now.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So it's always like a good place to run to if you're trying to have like I don't know, you don't want to just be having a meeting in the middle of the library and everyone can hear you. So it's a good place to kind of run to have a quiet conversation. But to answer your question, I think my favorite part of KSU has been just the absolute just commitment to seeing us succeed by the professors. Prime example was first year in physiology. Our professors would stay till like midnight, walking around the library to answer questions and support us with whatever we needed, because they knew like coming into vet school was going to be kind of a stressful time. It was one of our first tests, and they made sure to show us that they cared and wanted to see us succeed. And I think that same kind of resolve carries out throughout the last 2 years of our education.
That's awesome. So do you say like you're pretty close with your professors and everything? Ish.
Yeah. And so we're both second years, and so we started kind of in a role with COVID, so we didn't get to come to class and everything.
Yeah.
But like Nathan said, they would do different things for us or stay late and everything. A lot of people know professors on a first name basis, like we're all Facebook friends. So yeah, I
That's
definitely
so cool.
feel close to them and like don't have a problem going up and asking them or meeting them in the office for anything.
Awesome. Any tips for applying to vet school in general?
You got anything?
I'm not sure. I guess have somebody read over your application. That's always a good thing. So one of my best friends in vet school, she got asked about it in her interview because for her shadowing hours, instead of putting 720, she put 72. So make sure somebody looks over your application.
Yeah, definitely. That would have sucked. Oh, could not imagine.
People got in though, so it's
That's
okay.
good. I mean, it all worked out.
It did.
So like after the application and then, say you get accepted to like interview weekend, not accepted, but like if you get invited for interviews, I think here at Kansas State, a lot of value is put into the interview. So I'd say like definitely take time to, some of those basic questions of like, why do you want to be a veterinarian and things of that nature, like definitely practice with someone and have like a very articulate and well thought out answer to those kind of more basic questions that you can kind of you're going to basically get those questions. So like, you're going to have those. So just prep those, I think would be great because yeah, like I said, here at Kansas State, I think the interview does mean a lot more than maybe at some other places.
What do you think for Kansas State in particular is like what they're looking for the most?
I think somebody, at least it seems from, I don't know, ourselves, our classmates, and what we see, but somebody that's well-rounded, somebody that just really wants to be a vet and has a passion for it. They like to see good grades, but I mean, there is all kinds of GPAs throughout our class. So as long as you show like commitment, wanting to be a vet, still good grades and like shadowing experience, they can really tell in your interview, especially if you choose to come in person, if you want to be a vet or not, and if you'll be a good fit here.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think they just really value if there's someone that really shows that throughout undergraduate, they took advantage of opportunities to kind of not only like show on an application, but really like prove to themselves that this is what they want to do. And I think that that's a quality that K-State really values and sees longevity in the success of their students in students that have that value.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to think of other things. What was that?
Has your event been pretty busy?
It's been pretty good. We've had like over 200 kids who showed up in person. And then there's lots of different vet schools. There's, I think, 5 here to like in person. And then there's a lot more on Zoom. There's a couple people who have been like showing up on the Zoom calls and everything too, to just log in on those meetings. So yeah, it's been pretty good. It's our first year, so we're really surprised with how well it's been. So yeah.
It was awesome.
I've got a question about the the length of time that you waited. So you turned in your application. How long did you wait for them to respond with a secondary application for you to fill out?
So for K-State, we do have 2 applications right away. So you will fill out the VMCAS and a supplementary application. And so the reason for that is they have access to that supplementary one before they get the VMCAS results for who applied to K-State. So they can kind of start going through that process. And so you will turn that in about September 15th every year. And then by about December 15th, you will either get an offer for an interview to come interview, or saying that you would not like to interview for you that year. Then interviews will take place early January. There's 2 different weekends, and we have been offering both in-person and Zoom options. If you choose not to travel, or if you really want to come here, you can too. And then from there, you should hear by about mid-February whether you got accepted or not. And then if you do get accepted, you have until April 15th to accept your position.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, they try to make it really quick, and those dates really, they usually have it done before, then they're pretty good about it.
Fantastic. Are y'all from Kansas? Both of you?
I am from Kansas, yes.
Okay.
I'm from Houston.
Houston, Texas?
Yeah, I did my undergraduate here though.
Okay. So you were already used to Kansas then?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it wasn't like a big change I guess like the population was, I came from a suburbs of Houston to like a pretty small town, but I don't think it was like a large transition for me. It is a lot nicer though when you drive on the interstate. There's not just a bunch of billboards and junk on the side of the road. You actually see, I don't know, a little bit more of the world. I like that.
Yeah.
It is a lot more open. It really is. But I just see it as like an excuse. Well, I tell myself that it's just, there's less distractions here, which is kind of what I need for, the 7 years of college that I'm putting myself through. So.
That's right.
It seems to be a good place. I'm from a small town, so Manhattan's pretty big for me actually, but it seems to be kind of a good melting pot for both big city people and small town people, that we have everything you may need. We have grocery stores, a shopping mall and stuff, but it's calm enough to not have too many distractions and be okay.
Yeah.
And given that mental health is always a topic of discussion, especially in this field, there's easy escapes from being in the town. You can go out and not be surrounded by billboards.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's more helpful in that way. You know, there's hiking trails and so much. Like, there's a lot more opportunities for you to get into nature and maybe get that reprieve if that is something that, you know, benefits you individually in your mental health. Whereas for me, it's more like the coffee shops, and we have a ton of those. So like when I'm feeling real stressed, I'll just go sit down and have a coffee at a coffee shop.
There you go.
But like, it has something for everyone.
That's good.
How are the scholarships there? Does like a lot of people get them or not really at all?
I say quite a few students get them. We are eligible for them every year, and we have just kind of like a school form we fill out to be eligible for them. And so there are many that are based off of your GPA, but then there are also some that are different and are based on like interest area. So some might be if you want to be a large animal vet, or if you want to work in Colorado or things like that. So they're more specialized. So it's not all about grades.
Yeah, I'd say actually from like my perspective on the scholarships offered here, I'd say they're more needs-based than they are merit-based, which is practical, I think. But there are still those merit-based scholarships available.
Awesome.
We're also encouraged a lot to apply. We get a bunch of emails about different scholarships throughout different organizations, like different professional organizations or different states that are offering scholarships for veterinary students and things like that too.
Okay, cool.
Are y'all all students at Tarleton State?
Yes, yeah, we are. We're part of the pre-vet association here. So we're just out here volunteering.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'll look great on an application.
That's the goal. Just trying to build that resume.
Wait, we can use these volunteer hours on the application?
Log them on Texan Sync.
Oh, score.
Are you
Yeah,
guys?
oh, sorry, what?
I was just gonna ask if are you guys applying or still doing your undergrad or?
I'm applying this cycle. It's on the back burner. It's on my desktop. It's just a few desktops over where I'm still working on, what's due next week kind of thing. So it's little by little chipping away at it, waiting for the TMDSAS to open up for Texas. So
Nice.
And there's a couple of us in here. And both of us are in our undergrad still.
Okay.
We still got a few more years left, but coming up.
Yeah. So you're like sophomores?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
What's the biggest tip y'all can give us since we are sophomores right now?
I feel like what class should they take?
Ooh, anatomy.
I
She literally just said that and she was so excited.
I think repro helped me a lot in our first year anatomy class in vet school.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, yeah, obviously those are great to take, but kind of like the more obscure things. So I feel like the total, like, I don't know, we've all seen like biology and so forth, and that kind of blends into some of like the pathologies and stuff that we take in veterinary school. But you kind of get blindsided by like the parasitologies, the toxicology, immunology. It's like any of those three, if they offer classes in those areas, I would definitely try to like take those classes. Maybe not like, I don't know. I just feel like seeing the words previously would have been a huge help to me, because it was like massive words you've never seen before. And it's like learning a new language.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. I feel like a lot of people don't really mention those a whole lot. So that's good. And A&P is always like the one they're like, you have to take it before you get to vet school. I'm in it right now. So that's why I was told that before I even got to school. They're like, you need to take it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I definitely think it helped me. My lab partner went to like a private college, and so she had never had an animal class or an anatomy class, and so she had to put in a lot more time than I did.
Yeah, I took anatomy in high school, but in high school, it's just kind of like for humans. But I mean, it still helps a little bit for when you're comparing it to animals. So,
Definitely.
But yeah, if there's a bacteriology, parasitology, toxicology, or immunology, I'd say
Diseases
those
class.
four, like one of those just would be like a massive benefit because you would not have to worry about that class as much when it comes up in the curriculum of vet school. You can kind of put it on the back burner and focus on something else a little bit more, which is nice.
okay, cool. What classes are y'all taking right now?
Me to answer.
Yeah,
So
you wanna
we
list them?
we have clinical pathology, we have systemic pathology, we have virology, we're in toxicology. What else?
Lots of
Oh, we-
ologies.
They
Yeah,
call it the ologies.
It's the year of the
Yeah.
ology.
We just finished
Oh,
pharmacology.
we have radiology.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Have a clinical skills class. That one's kind of
Yes.
fun.
And then everybody has 1 to 2 electives. So I'm in an emergency elective. What are you in?
I'm not taking any electives this semester.
Okay, so I'm in an emergency elective and then I'm also doing a study abroad to Belgium. So we meet once a week. And then right at the end of the semester, we are gonna go for 2 weeks to Belgium, but that counts as like an elective credit.
That's so cool. What are you doing in Belgium?
We're just basically traveling the country. So we're gonna stay in like 5 different cities. We're gonna go to the 2 main vet schools in Belgium. And then we're gonna go to kind of like a small animal practice. Then we're gonna go to a mixed animal practice. And then we're gonna go to a couple farms and really get like a good picture on what like veterinarians do and kind of the agricultural world in Belgium, which is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that was at the end of the semester or during like summertime?
So finals are in on Friday. We fly out Saturday morning.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's all K-State students.
What was that? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, it took me a minute to register.
But yeah, so that's all the classes we're taking.
Okay, awesome. How many like credit hours is that?
We have 22 right now without electives, and electives are usually like 1 per class.
This is our heaviest semester. Yeah.
You said you are sophomores or second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, second
Okay.
semester, second years.
Okay,
And for our particular program, it's known as like the hardest semester.
okay, got it.
Next semester, we start surgeries with our junior surgery lab, and we'll be doing spays and neuters on shelter dogs. And so they're trying to get us ready about teaching us about anesthesia machines and endotracheal tubes and recognizing pain, induction. So we'll be doing that next semester.
That's super fun. Are y'all excited? Get done with this semester, get into the actual hands-on that stuff.
Get done with this? Yes, but it seems like I have a big knowledge gap. I'm like, I'm scary with a scalpel right now. I don't, I need some more time.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, that's a big change in everything from just going from the classroom and then, oh, here's to cut open an
Yeah.
animal. Good luck.
Dog.
Yeah, hopefully they give us like a couple weeks at the beginning of the semester and like really like tell us what we need to do rather than just like showing up on day one.
Yeah,
Like, all right,
definitely.
got a new dog next week. I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Are they all shelter dogs?
yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
And then like the 3rd year class this year, I think 9 of them adopted one of their surgery dogs and took home.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of fun to be like, I spayed this dog.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be cool.
But yeah, so it's our last summer this summer. We don't, so like we get a summer after first year and a summer after second year. And then after 3rd year, do we get a week? Or do we?
1 week, and then we go right into clinics.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. But I mean, that kind of makes sense if you're going into the clinicals and everything, because clinics are all different types, like the seasons and all that. What are y'all wanting to go into?
Go ahead.
I want to do mixed animal rural medicine in Kansas.
I want to do cardiology or radiology, and I would love to work 3 days a week and have a good work-life balance.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Work-life balance. That's important. You probably won't get that for a while, but
Yeah, I've made the commitment to myself. I'm going to sacrifice my 20s to live it up in my 30s. So,
there you go. That's a good goal.
If I had $1 for every radiologist that I knew sat in their pajamas all day at home and just looked at radiology, looked at radiographs and made the reports, just killing it 3 days, 4 days a week in your jammies.
yeah, it sounds pretty nice, doesn't it?
What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna hand the mic over to the person who doesn't like talking on the mic.
That would be me. I have absolutely no idea.
That's okay.
Like most people kind of
yeah.
had an idea when we started, and
Uh-huh.
then everybody's idea for the most part changed. And
Yeah.
it's changed multiple times.
A lot of people in our class still say they don't know, but I think that's good too, because they have more of an open mind. And so if they find something they like, they'll pursue it.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. I have no idea.
Yeah, I really had like a very limited idea of like the job opportunities the veterinarians had going into veterinary school. Like you would think like somebody who's dedicating their life to it would have a better idea. But when you get here, there's so many different avenues that you never even would have thought of for a veterinarian to pursue.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot today, so this has been helpful. Yeah.
I think we're exposed a lot more to like different pathways or specialties in vet med too when we have our classes, because like most of our teachers are veterinarians,
Mhm.
but the ones that teach virology are specifically virologists. The ones that teach bacteriology are specifically bacteriologists. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different things you can do.
Yeah.
You want to do fecals for a living, you can.
She's nope.
Oh, me neither.
Are we
Yeah.
talking floats or smears? What kind of fecals,
Centrifuge flows, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the worst.
Especially when you don't get it sealed right, dirty.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not fun.
just pop the slide on and walk away and let it float to the top. You don't have to put it in the, yeah, well.
Yeah,
Well,
I
don't
like
tell you that
those.
it's
Those
not
ones are a
fun.
lot easier.
But so that was one of y'all, sorry.
Oh,
What does everyone
yes.
else want to do?
I only have had equine experience, so I don't really know about any of the others yet. I'm gonna try to find a way to get in some of the others just so I can, broaden my horizon a little bit, see if any of the other ones jumps out at me. I know I like equine already, so I mean, that's easier to like go back at, I guess. But yeah.
Sean, what do you want to do?
Oh, rural mixed practice surgeon.
Yay.
So I'd like to do general practice for as long as I can stand to do more. I've been working in vet hospitals since I was, it's been about 15 years now. I'll be 30 in July. And so I've got all of the, I'm tired of doing ear infection, doing ear cytologies constantly, I fell in love with surgery about 4 years ago as a technician, and then I became lead surgery technician, and I wanted to be the one with the hands in the body. You know what I mean? I wanted to make the cuts. I wanted to excise the tumor. I wanted to make sure that my margins were good, or I wanted to place a suture. And the only way to do that was to go to school to become a veterinarian. And so, but it's always in my mind that surgery is where my heart is, but my heart is in the country. My heart is away from the city where I grew up. And the population of my town as of now is a little over 900, but when I was a kid, it was about 700. And there was only one vet, and there's more towns out that way that they have to drive about 2 hours just to get to the closest vet. And I want to be able to, if I need to drive out to you and work on your cow out in the blistering cold, or if it's hot, I don't care. I'll be out there in an hour. You know what I mean? That's my goal, is to serve those people who love their animals just as much as you or I, but they just may not have the financial ability to pay for those kinds of surgeries. And so I would like to be proficient enough to where I'm not a board certified surgeon. However, I'm experienced enough, and I'll do it for half the price. Instead of, or if old Fido breaks his leg or tears his ACL, I can do a CRCL. Instead of for $5 or $6 grand, I'll do it for $1,500 or $2 grand. That kind of thing. Just because those are the kind of people I grew up with, little old ladies who can't afford, but they've got all the animals and they give them all the love and everything. They just can't afford to do those surgical procedures. So that's what I want to do.
Nice.
That's awesome. There you go. That's a great answer for your interviews.
They are.
I mean, God literally put me on this earth to do nothing but be a father and be a vet. So it's like, and I tried to run from being a vet. I was like, vet and debt rhyme. I don't like that. And then I kind of got coerced by some doctors that I was working for. They were like, you need to go to school. So here I am.
It'll pay off. That's something we talk about a lot. And I think first year, we talked about how to do loan stuff, and we have financial advisors here at the school to help us with it, but it pays off eventually. And I always remember one of our deans showed us a graph. And so a woman my age, like over her lifetime, by having a DVM, I'll make $1 million more than a woman that doesn't. So like that helps encourage me a little bit too.
I just want to let you know my jaw literally dropped when you told me, like when you said that.
Right?
That
You don't
makes
think
me
it's that
happy.
much.
Vet school is so expensive. It's crazy. Yeah. How are y'all like? So did both of y'all like take out loans and everything? Or
Yeah, I have a few loans, and then I'm also in a program to serve rural Kansas. And so they pay a lot of my tuition too. And so you can find different programs based on what you're interested in or where you want to go work that may need a veterinarian and can help pay back some of your loans for you.
okay, cool.
I think that starting during COVID and after they paused payments or like the interest rate on it, it's been really nice because I haven't had any like interest accrue since I started, and they just pushed that again. So I feel like that's been like a really, I don't know, stabilizing thing in my mind when it comes to debt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, it's just one of those things.
Takes money to make money, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
but it'll pay off, We're not becoming vets for the money. At least I'm not.
It's not for the money, it's for the gray hair and stress lines.
Yeah.
They make hair dye.
That's
That's
what,
what I'm gonna
right,
do.
that's right. No, we pay for the wisdom. That's good.
You got to have a reason to try every flavor of energy drink in the world.
One of our professors in toxicology this week, we were talking about caffeine and like all the toxic components and how it would affect an animal. And he's like, I read a study the other day. He said that people who don't drink caffeine have a 70% less will to live.
Yeah, he made it like real professional sounding. He's like, yeah, I just read this great article. And, he cited this number. He's like, 70% less will to live. And everybody just started cracking him. He just continued on. Like, it didn't even act like it was a joke. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
So he's drinking caffeine.
Don't give it to your dog.
So, have you guys heard of the small animal veterinary nerd book that Sophia Yin published many years ago for passing final exams and whatnot? Are you guys
No.
familiar with who she is?
What's the name of the book?
It's the small animal veterinary nerd book. It's a little green book and it has everything you need to know in order to pass your,
The Navly?
We're looking it up right now.
Do they have a large animal one too?
Sophia Yin, she,
Mhm.
naturally, she killed herself. That she's one of the reasons why we have that hashtag not one more vet. She was more of a small animal, but the world's top animal behavioralist. But yes, that book is incredible. Even if you're not a veterinary student yet, or even if you're just a veterinary technician like I was when I bought it, it's a plethora of information that's still valid as far as, when you said don't give your dogs caffeine, or it's got toxic levels in there, and just a little green book.
Very cool.
It looks
Very worth
interesting.
it.
$75.
The majority of the doctors that I worked with they all had their own copy of it.
Huh. Neat.
So what kind of veterinary resources do y'all, I guess, go to when you're interested in looking something up about veterinary medicine? Because I feel like when I came to vet school, there was a lot of these websites and so forth that I had never heard of that we've now been like exposed to that are great resources. And I was just wondering if y'all knew of any and which ones do y'all utilize?
So I use Merck, their compendium that they've got, and then I also use the was it the CVP or so? Naturally.
VIN? You ever heard of VIN?
What is it?
VIN?
No, I have not.
Look up VIN.com, veterinary, whatever.
Information network.
Yeah, that's a big one that we
We use a lot.
utilize.
Yeah, Merck's a good one. I do these things, they're called like the Navly prep questions of the day. And
Those
so
would be cool.
if you Google that, like they'll send you little questions every day, and it's fun because now I know more of them than I knew last year. But a lot of their pictures or resources will like link to a Merck page about explaining the disease or what is the cause of it.
So it's called Vet Prep. And you can sign up and you get an email a day, and it's basically like a mock Navly question. And you can just kind of basically learn about random diseases, but also kind of figure out what the Navly is going to be like. And then there's another program, it's called Zuku, ZUKU, which also has another email thing that most of us are signed up for, and we get 2 of these emails every day, and we do the questions every day, or we try to.
The Navly question today was a horse was in respiratory distress because of a snake bite. And so you have this picture of a horse with a really puffy face. And it says, aside from local tissue damage and upper airway obstruction, what is another major complication of a crotalid envenomation? And so then you have like multiple choice, you get to guess it, and you click on it. And if you're right or wrong, like they'll give you an explanation about why this is the right answer and why the other ones weren't right. So it's really fun.
So
What was the
right
answer?
Yeah, what was the right answer? Does it have?
We haven't got to that in toxicology yet. Calm down.
Doesn't it coagulate the blood or something like that?
That's
Click
what
on it. It's an option.
that's what I guess. I thought I was wrong though.
That was
Oh,
my
it is
first.
coagulopathy.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can have my seat.
Well,
But yeah, so these are great. It's called Zuku and Vet Prep, and they send you a question a day, and it's just a multiple choice question, and then it gives a great explanation for the answer. And a lot of the time, even now, like I don't know the answers, but comparing like signing up first year to now, I definitely know a lot more. So it is kind of gratifying. So it'll be cool if you start now to start building a knowledge base, but then you can see like the progression.
I've got them both pulled up on my phone. So as soon as I get home, I'm gonna go ahead and get on that, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
It's really fun. So like last year, I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like they're so hard. But now that I know more, I'm like excited for it to come. Like, ooh, I know this one. And then we send it to all our friends. They're like, did you get this one? I got that one.
Or like, did you get it right today or something like that? Yeah.
It's like I just heard about Wordle that everybody's doing.
Wordle.
So it's
I
kind of
love
like Wordle,
Wordle.
but you get your own veterinary question of the day, which is nice.
Pretty much.
Well, do you have any other questions?